welcome to Tribulation 515, 2011. Today is August 6th, 2013. Welcome to my personal witness and testimony to the tribulation and end times that are literally unfolding right in front of our very eyes. If you're tuning into this, that means that maybe your eyes are opened. If you've been living with your head in the ground, living in denial, or you've been just blessed with a hedged-in, bubble-ized existence where, all the craziness that's been happening for the last several years hasn't come to your attention, hey, God bless you too. Alright, we just want to rip through some stuff, keep this short. The U.S. supposedly, we got this terror alert that's going on for a full week. They shut down 22 embassies. They just bombed some people with our drones. They killed 4 Yemen terrorists. And Yemen, if you rearrange the letters, it's enemy, And that seems to be like one of the headquarters of Al-Qaeda, or the bad guys. At least that's what they're telling us. Of course, over on Operation End Times, we're getting ready. I'm already up to part 4 on my Mind Fast series. That's on 8/11, August 11th. 8 times 11 is 88, so that's an important number that's going on right now. So speaking of which, I was watching Suspicious Observers report today. A couple of things. NASA has announced that the sun is going to complete its pole reversal. It's already reversed on the north, so it's just a matter, they said no more than 3 to 4 months, and it'll be a complete pole reversal at the sun, and that has implications for our whole solar system, including our planet here on Earth. And as we know, we've been having extreme weather, and everything is just as crazy. There's 2 hurricanes currently off the west coast of the United States, kind of heading out towards Florida. There's flooding all around the world, wherever you look. Storms, lightning, all signs of the times. They just discovered a bunch of comets. They're calling the Lazarus comets. They're between Jupiter and Mars, and they kind of lay dormant in the darkness like they're in the grave, and then all of a sudden they show up, and they're bright, and they're close to Earth. And, if you've been over at Operation End Times, we've been talking about the pit, the tomb, the sepulcher of your mind, and the stone being rolled away and coming out of there. And that's the story of Jesus and Lazarus. And here we got Lazarus comets. Right around the corner. Usually it's around August 9th to 14th, but they're saying it is August 12th and 13th. It's the Perseids meteor shower, which is the brightest meteor shower that we get each year. And it comes out of the constellation of Perseus, who was part of the Danaans dynasty, Danaans, but I say it's like the lost tribe of Dan, Perseus was a demigod. He was kind of like Jason and the Argonauts. He went on a lot of adventures. He slew Medusa, the Gorgon, who, when people looked at her head, they would turn to stone. She had snakes coming out of her head. Suspicious Observers, he also mentioned that there was a gamma ray burst out of the constellation of Cassiopia. And that's very interesting, my friends. For my last 2 series over on Operation End Times, Just Living, and now the Mind Fast series, I've been talking a lot about marriage, the dark side of marriage. Cassiopia, the constellation of Cassiopia, is one of the 88 modern constellations. Once again, there's that number 88. She was the vain queen, where she was, her vanity and arrogance was in. She was the
queen of Libya, married to the king Cetus. And Cetus in the sky is the sea monster. But anyway, Cassiopia was bragging about her beauty and her daughter's beauty being so awesome that none could compare to it, and it angered some other gods. And next thing you know, they were told by an oracle that they had to chain their daughter Andromeda to a rock and sacrifice her to the sea monster, the dragon, the Cetus, coming up out of the sea to be devoured by the sea. So Andromeda means the ruler of men, a woman who rules men, and maybe she was ruling men with her beauty. Kind of hard to say, but that all ties to a lot of what I've been talking about over on Operation End Times. But she was bound up, chained to a rock,
and left to fend for herself. She was promised to be wed to this guy Phineas, which was her dad's brother, her uncle. And Phineas is an interesting guy, because Phineas ties into the word pine cone, the lone pine cone. Got to go to Operation End Times to see what that's all about. Phineas also ties into the pineal gland, which is the third eye, which gives you spiritual insight and insight into the future, my friends. So Phineas, the mythology behind him is that he told men the future. Basically, Jason and the Argonauts, when they were on their journeys, he told them the path, how to get through the clashing rocks, known as the Symplegades, the Pleiades, which almost sounds like the star formation. What the heck is it called? The 7 stars up there. God, it'll come to me in a second. But anyway, it kind of means the clashing rocks or the wandering rocks, But because he helped mankind by telling them the future and how to get through this, he was blinded by the gods, and he was tortured where he had birds pecking out his eyes. It's the Pleiades stars. That's what the Symplegades almost sounds like. There's a reason why all these words kind of sound like each other. But what is super interesting is when you're kind of researching Andromeda and Cassiopia, and man, everything in the heavens nowadays has some kind of meaning. You come up with this term which is called hieros gamos, which is known by the Greeks as sacred marriage or the holy marriage, and it was the marriage between the gods, and supposedly that's what Cassiopia and Cetus were demigods, and Perseus was a demigod. And of course, Perseus, he rode Pegasus, the winged horse. Perseus is also sometimes known as Mercury, where he has the flying sandals with the wings. But, what you will find out, the hieros gamos is the sacred marriage. It's between the gods. It's the princess and the dragon concept, And it's a ritual. I'm looking at Wikipedia. It says hieros gamos, and over on Operation End Times, I've been talking about marriage. The heavenly marriage and the carnal marriage. But this sacred marriage, even though it sounds like some kind of heavenly marriage, I'm telling you, it's more of a dark shadow path. But hieros gamos refers to a sexual ritual that plays out a marriage between a god and a goddess, especially when enacted in a symbolic ritual where human participants represent the deities. Sounds like idol worship. But they then list like several different cultures: Hinduism, the ancient Near East, Greeks, Buddhism, Jungian, alchemy, Wicca, all of it pagan, where there's all these rituals. It's about fertility and childbirth, and even with the Greeks, they talk about they would encourage the Sumerians, they would encourage them to have sex at a certain time. It goes, in some cases, it served a practical purpose, since commoners frequently took this opportunity to have sex with their own spouses. And once again, that's all carnal, man. Sex is carnal. It coordinates the birth of children so that they would be born in the winter when there was more time to take care of them. Children born in midwinter of these unions were called the son or daughter of God. The sons of God, the daughters of God. And once again, over in Operation End Times, we've brought it up time and time again. The sons of God that came down to earth and took for wives the daughters of men. And this whole story of Cassiopia and Andromeda and Perseus, follows that whole line of thinking, man. And it's not by coincidence that gamma burst came out of the constellation of Cassiopia the other night. So, the sun's reversing its polarity. The Lazarus comets are coming to life. They're located between Jupiter and Mars. And, we have the trial of the Fort Hood shooter, Nadal Hassan, who killed 13 people. We're in 2013, and he's making a mockery of justice, putting the victims on trial, and he's representing himself, man. So he's what's known as a shadow path man, where he's confused, he's insane, he's as evil as they come, my friends. And he killed everybody yelling Allah Akbar. So I'm not saying he represents all Islamic people, but the extremists or the dark side for sure, But anyway, that's pretty much what's going down. There's all sorts of other crazy stuff. We have the economic collapse of the United States coming in the fall, along with comet ISON. 2013. Hold on to your hats, folks. This ride is just getting going. All right, hey, this is Tribulation 515, 2011. The sacred marriages were also coordinated with the calendars. The sex they would have would be on the spring equinox. So that was part of the festival, was having sex. Eating, drinking, taking wives, giving out daughters, carnal sex, worshiping idols. Sounds like the kind of holy, heavenly, institution that it is portrayed to be, which it's not. Like I said, there is a pure side to marriage, but the vast majority of it on this planet is pretty dark, man. All right, hey, may God bless each and every one of you out there. Do something positive. Think positive. Try and get your mind right. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, go over to Operation End Times and check out the Mind Fast series. All right, take it easy. Keep your eyes open. Stay thirsty, my friends.